Are you a fan of urban music? Would you like to know what's going on with your favorite urban artists? Looking for that perfect show to keep you up to date? Well, now you've got it, right here at Source Radio Network. Join us for UGD Live, a show that offers a new take on urban entertainment. Every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, our host, James Johnson, will bring a fresh conversation with your favorite artists, along with their latest music and upcoming projects. So tune in every Saturday for your healthy dose of entertainment and more with UGB Live.
Source Radio Network is just one of the many platforms that is used to fulfill dreams of our listeners and create a purpose that will impact the lives of our communities, cities, and the world. It is often said that great things will happen when a group of driven people work together to accomplish one goal. We're giving people the opportunity to have a voice, translate words that haven't been heard, and paint pictures that no one has seen. Source Radio Network is fueling your life's purpose. How can you listen? www.blogtalkradio.com/Source Radio.
Source Nation, we are back. I am so grateful that everybody is sticking here with us today. We are now transitioning into UGD Live, and an amazing guest here in the studio today. I think it's just really, really awesome. But, I mean, as everybody knows, you know, entertainment, music, that sort of thing, that is just ultimately my life. So I'm always thrilled with all of the guests that we bring here into the studio. I think everybody that we bring in is very much so amazing. But I definitely want to go ahead and highlight who we have in the studio today. Amazing, you know, in this entertainment business and industry, and definitely doing some really, really thrilling things that the whole world ultimately should be excited about. But I want to go ahead and welcome into UGD Live today, Clubesque. How are you today?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that introduction. So nice to hear that people are just as excited and engaged with the world of entertainment as I am. So thank you.
I think that you're doing so many amazing things, obviously, and it's good. Like, people like you really inspire me in this entertainment industry. And I know I said Clubesque, and I know your name is Sunny, but I just number one, I love it. I love the name Clubesque, number one. So that's the reason why I said that. But trust that I do know your name, and I'm very grateful to you and humble for having the opportunity to really connect with you, because I think that you're doing so much for this industry, so much for entertainment as a whole. And people like myself really look up to you for what it is that you're doing and wanting to be in the entertainment industry. And this is something I've wanted to do my entire life. So connecting with you is really amazing. So thank you.
Wow, I'm sure there are going to be many more of those moments, but you have stumped me. I'm smiling ear to ear, and my heart is warm. Thank you so much.
I think it's definitely great. I mean, obviously, when it comes to sultry cabarets, Broadway, Vegas, doing theater performances, which I love the stage and I love theater and I love going out to see different things like that. Like, talk to me, or talk to Source Nation, I should say, just about everything that you have going on. And then, obviously we'll go into detail with some things, but really kind of start off just by talking about all of the many things that you have going on.
Absolutely. So, well, if I talk about the many things, we'll be here for well over half a day and probably sharing it over a bottle of wine. So I will take the first big slice of this pie and talk about my baby, which is Clubesque. And it's very good that you mentioned the whole theater, Broadway world, because that's really where it stemmed from. Well, I would say part of it. So here's really the 10-second log line with Clubesque. It is Broadway meets Las Vegas, meets live entertainment, meets a concert, meets a club, all on one stage for one night. So if you can visualize that, then probably every pinpoint on your body gets excited or has gotten touched at some point. And the reason why I describe it like that is because I literally took from all of these industries and took the best of the best, took things that I like and blended them together, built a storyline behind it, and threw it out on the stage to see if people got it the way that I did. And they did. So, you know, I really, for me as an entertainer, as a lover of many styles, what really sparked the interest for me to create this form of entertainment is that I would spend about $200-$300 a week just entertaining myself. So I would go to the burlesque shows. That was $30, and I would get bored after the first 2 acts. Then I would leave there, and I would go see a live show, and I would get bored after the first 30, 45 minutes, and I would leave there. I would go see a drag show, you know, and so on and so on. So I really wanted to create an environment, a place where I could just pay one price and stay all night and kind of get my fix of everything. And plus, I got tired of going to clubs and hearing the same music, listening to the same people, being in smoky environments, and that really didn't do it for me either. So for me,
right.
Clubesque is a real night out. You know, it's somewhere where you can dress up, where you can dress down, where you can go vibe out, where you can go see a beautiful stage, where you could go see beautiful women, beautiful men, you know, entertainment, everything. So you get your fix of all of these little pockets of entertainment in a 90-minute performance, if that makes sense.
I just think that that's so amazing. Like, I even think back to, you know, when the movie Burlesque came out, that was with Christina Aguilera and Cher, and just that whole, I don't know, like just that whole, I guess that whole atmosphere and everything. Like, it's something exciting when you look at the show that's really put together and all of the time and the energy that goes into putting something like that together. Like, I think it's really amazing. So, like, talk a little bit about, and you talked about the things that you didn't really want it to be, you know, when you were putting it on. So kind of talk about the things that you were able to do and to put into making your show, you know, what it is today.
Right. So really what it all boils down to in regards to all these different section styles of entertainment is Clubesque. Okay, so first of all, I'm an artist. I'm a writer. I write songs as well as I'm working on writing a book. I've written a sitcom that is getting shopped. So I have a lot of creative depth inside of me.
So in other words, you're basically just taking over the industry.
You know what? It's either create, get it out, or die. It's not really about, you know, I think the return on putting out creative content is the money and the rewards, but it's not the driver of it. Really and truly, if I don't create or if I don't perform in a period of time, people will start to see my personality change.
Right.
So it's like, I got to get it out there somehow, you know. And I've been blessed with all of these different skills to sing, to dance, to write, to know music, to know harmonies, to know costuming, to know talent. And so it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all this? I'm like a jumping bean. It's like if you don't let me out the bottle, sooner or later, I'm going to die. So, you know, I put all of these styles to work as far as the different types of music and forms of entertainment. But in addition to that, it's really about me transitioning as a woman as well, you know. I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and I won't be the same person in 5 or 10 years. So I also felt that was missing in the world and especially in media. If you're portrayed as one type of woman, you're always portrayed as that type of woman, you know. And I'm like, wow, I can relate to her 10%, but what about the other 90%? So, you know, if I rock a heel and be sexy one night, do I always have to be sexy? Why? I mean, sometimes I'm mad, sexy, beautiful, angry. I'm a walking contradiction. I'm all of these things at the same time. And why can't society just get it? Why don't I see that represented? So, all of these different
I think a lot
entities,
of times why you don't really see a lot of that represented because
you don't.
And you kind of spoke to this. I think you kind of spoke to this indirectly, but it really goes back to the fact that you're doing this for the love of it, and it's not about the reward and not about the paycheck, even though at the end of the day you need some money, and you do need to be rewarded because you do want to feel good.
We all need a coin.
Yeah, that's the way that I feel. Like, I need that bag. So, like, don't play with me when it comes to getting the bag. But at the same time and on the same token, everything that I do, whether it's with media or whether it's with my magazine or whether it's with hosting the show or any of that, this is all like the love of my life, aside from my wife. So I mean, this is like the love of my life. So I will do this for free. And I hope the wrong person is not hearing that, but I will do this for free. So,
well, you know what? I'll take your free and I'll raise it up one. I'll pay to do it because that's pretty much what I've been doing since I started. I will pay to do it.
You don't have a lot of people who work with that in mind, and you don't have a lot of people that are doing it for the love of it. So I think that's why you don't really see like the authenticity and the genuineness of it, because they're not really like, if the money all went away today, they'll be like, let me find something else to do. Whereas if they told me today you can never get paid for it again, okay, I'm going to go get me another job, but I'm going to still be doing this too. So
absolutely.
I think that's really the difference. And because you're doing it for the love of it, so much more that you can naturally offer. And it's not even a big thing for you because this is what you love to do. Like, look at the fact that you know merchandising and you know costuming and you know casting and you know this and you know that. And all the other people who are doing this, they have somebody doing all of that for them. And it's really the same thing, with my magazine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm the journalist, and I do own the magazine. But at the end of the day, I know how to do the merchandising, and I know how to do the marketing, and I have my own PR firm, so we do all of our own PR. And, like I know the ins and the outs, and I know all of the things that I need to do. So, number one, I can save a little bit of money, and I don't have to pay somebody else to do it because I know I can do it myself. But aside from that, I love doing this. And that's what I sense with you is that, like, this is like the love of your life, and you love doing this. And I think that that's why it comes across the way that it does.
And you know what? It's two things I would say. I would say being in alignment with your purpose even more so than loving it because, okay, so speaking from one creative mind to one creative mind, I'm sure at some point in your life, you're like, Lord, just take this. It's so hard. Just take this away from me. But it won't go. It will not leave your body. So I think it's even taking it a step further, and we're blessed to be in line with our purpose because once that happens, everything else still seems to fall in place, even right before your eyes. I worked as many as 3 jobs at one time to do this, and I still work. I work a full-time job in order to put on my shows.
But guess what?
I was a healthcare executive making a 6-figure salary, and 90% of my income was going into my show, and I was blissfully happy, running around with my head cut off, but blissfully happy because of just getting it out there. And it did not even click in my head like, wow, you're putting on a 20-person stage production and running a P&L of upwards of $20 million. How in the heck are you doing this, girl? It was just like, I'm just doing it, I'm just doing it. So I think when you're aligned in your purpose, everything, you just kind of float through life. Not to say that you're going to hit some turbulence, but you're going to get through the turbulence and still just kind of float through life,
I'm going to say, just to kind of relate my life a little bit, and we're going to be good friends after this interview. We are going to be great friends because let me tell you, so I was working an almost 6-figure job. I was at about 72, so I wasn't that far off from the 6 figures. And I was doing very well in this position. I had been with the company for almost 15 years. really worked my way up from the bottom. So, and when I say from the bottom, I literally started in environmental services. So I climbed all the way up to the top in probably 7 of those 15 years. And then I was, in a middle management position. I was doing very well. And much of my income from that job was going to supporting the things that I really wanted to do. And I've been in that position. I'm actually in that position right now where you're working multiple jobs to make sure that you're really footing everything that it is that you want to do, and you're footing the bills that you have, whether it's my car note and my wife's car note, my insurance and her insurance, the rent, the light, gas, water, the cable. My son just got some Kyrie Irving tennis shoes yesterday, and I told Kyrie Irving, I tweeted to him on Christmas, I said, I think that you are really part of the family now because my money is going to you. He got the Kyrie for Christmas, and I took a picture with him in these shoes on Christmas, and they were tore up in probably 2 weeks, and he just got a new pair yesterday. And this stuff is not cheap. So I'm working two and 3 jobs. I work in healthcare, which is why I also said that we're going to be great friends because I think that we're aligned along the same paths. And
absolutely,
I've been in healthcare, again, 15, 16 plus years. So I've been doing that. And then I work for Apple by day. So I do Apple Care from home. And I do that. So I literally have 2 full-time jobs. And then I publish a magazine. I run a PR firm. I just launched a mixtape distribution site a couple days ago. And I have a project where it ultimately is going to be like a career board of sorts, but it will be specifically for the arts, like the entertainment industry, PR, journalism, that sort of thing. Because coming into this and really, I've gone to school, I've graduated with, journalism degrees and communications. And to me, there just are not there's a lot of opportunities, but they aren't readily available. And a lot of times when you're in places like Cleveland, Ohio, and Columbus, and you're just in places that are not really entertainment capitals or they're not driven by entertainment, it's hard for you to really know what's out there and what's going on. And then a lot of sites, they want to charge you for the information because they know that you don't have any other way to get it. So, I'm really working on doing some things to really try and change it for the industry. And I'm doing all of that, again, while working 2 full-time jobs and having a wife and a child. We just hit our 9-year wedding anniversary, the 27th. And, obviously making time for everything else. And then we went to the cabins last weekend because I said we got to get out and do something for the anniversary. And I really should have been in Atlanta doing some things, but I said I got to go to the cabins and do this thing. So it's a lot. But
absolutely,
I say all of that just to say, I thoroughly understand what it is that you're talking about because I have lived that life and I continue to live that life, and I'm really okay with it because at the end of the day, I'm following my heart and my passion and what I want to do, and I'm aligned in my purpose, as you said. And I think that you're 100% right with that.
And these are the type of stories and the multi-dimensional people that the world needs access to. This is the spirit of my show. This is the spirit of my personality. I want people to come and experience folks that are maybe 1 or 2 prongs ahead of you, right? If you go to let's say, who's a superstar, a Beyonce concert, you're like, you know what, I'm not going to get close to her. I'm not going to touch her. She can do this. She has a gazillion dollars. But if you come to a show and I'm talking to you and I'm saying, look, I have to go because I have to go take this phone call for my job 20 minutes later, you're like, oh, my God, it's real. It's attainable. Let me take that back. It's attainable. It's realistic.
Right.
It's within hand's reach. And that's what people need in this world today. They need people to say, you know what, you can do your job. You can be aligned with your purpose, but you also have to work. Nothing is for free, and there's no shortcut to anything. And I think it's more stories like you, more stories like me. We need to get out there so that we can be the building blocks. Let the people take the top tier. I'm okay with having them being at the top of the mountain. I want to help the people that's midway on that mountain or that's at the beginning of their mountain get up. And it's about showing the layers of you and your life, the layers of me and my life, intertwined with, yeah, we're still living in our purpose, but that doesn't mean, you know, I'm living a life of luxury. I work my butt off every day. You know?
Exactly.
So, bravo to you, my friend. Bravo.
Well, the same for you, because again, you're doing such an amazing job, and it's just you don't really see it a lot. Like, we know that obviously you need to really work to get to this point, but we definitely don't see it a lot. And all of this stuff is definitely, you know, whatever anybody wants to do, whether it's entertainment or not, it's definitely all attainable. Like you said, you just have to work. And when I tell you, like, I was working the long hours and trying to put things together for the magazine and really launch it, and a week after launching, I got an opportunity to go out and to do, you know, red carpet coverage for the Soul Train Awards. And I think that in that moment, that was like the biggest thing for me in my life, number one, because I had just launched the magazine a week prior. So it was like, oh my God, they know already, and they invited me to come, and I'm going, and when I tell you, I had little to no money to get out there, and I called everybody that I knew in this world, like, look, you got to put in $20.
Let me do it.
And when I tell you, God had me on that plane. I had to drive 4 hours to a different airport to get a reasonable flight. And when I tell you, I worked it out, put some gas in that car, and made it happen, and got on down there to Vegas so I could do those awards. But it's really, like you said, just a way of showing that everything is truly attainable.
Absolutely. Your defining moment. I remember a story that was my defining moment, because I don't I see myself as an entertainer. And when I say that, there's a couple of things that drive that. One, so my mom and my dad, they're both entertainers. They're both singers. They actually, my life is a story. So I have that in my DNA. So along the way, you know, I talk to my dad a lot, and he goes, you know what, baby? He said, you always have to make sure that you sing to the people and not for the people. If you sing to the people, you go into their world. If you sing for the people, then you make them come into your world. And so I've always taken that and applied it to my stage show. But beyond that, I had an opportunity to share the same stage with the amazing, incomparable legend, James Brown, a year before he passed. So I'm on the stage with, and I didn't even know it. So I opened for him, and that man came up to me, and he said, you know what, look, gal, you got something special. I was like, and I'm sitting here, standing there. Now, I'm taller than him. And I'm just in awe that this man is just telling me that, you know, I have something special. And he's just like, keep showing everything. Keep showing up and showing out. And then that man got on stage, and when I tell you he rocked and he did the splits and threw that mic, and I'm sitting there in amazement, like, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to sell a seat. I don't care about a record. If I can sell a seat, I'll always have a job, you know?
Exactly.
So that was my defining moment. I want to get into producing stage shows. I want to really hone in on that gift, because if I can sell a seat, I can be 92 years old. If I can move, and if I can move the crowd, that's my ticket. So ever since I had that conversation with him, I really, I was always gifted on stage, but then I really start to get skillful in my gift on stage, if you know what I mean. So, you know, all these little lessons I've just applied to my life, and to where I am now. So I'm excited. You have an open invitation to Clubesque. I would love for you to experience it.
Well, let me tell you, I want to experience it. So I'm gonna work that out. I'm gonna work that out and get myself there so I can definitely experience it. And it's one thing to be able to learn these different lessons throughout your career and in life, but to learn it from somebody like a James Brown, like that's amazing. Like you mentioned Beyonce a few minutes ago, and I was like, oh my God, she knows I love Beyonce. Like she's gonna put me in front of Beyonce or something. But I think it's amazing. Like I love your story. I love the struggle that you've had getting to it, because I know it hasn't been easy, and nothing is easy when you're doing something of this magnitude, and then you have just everyday life happening. Not to mention the people who are disparaging, and they try to make it seem like what you're doing is impossible and you can't do it, and it can be done, but you just can't do it. And I think there's so much that falls in line with that. Like I think it's great because obviously connecting with you and connecting with a lot of artists and entertainers, a lot of times I can have these in-depth conversations about things like this that no other journalist is getting out of them because of the things that they care about versus the things that I care about and the things that, more importantly, I don't care about.
Absolutely.
And it's funny, too, because kind of relating it to somebody else I spoke to. Now, obviously I published a magazine, so I connected with one of the people from the reality show, the Black Ink Chicago. And, it comes on VH1, and it's coming back on in next month, mid-May or May 24th. So I was able to connect with one of the guys from there. And, I mean, we had such a meaningful conversation that I don't think either one of us wanted to stop the conversation. But it's like, okay, he's got to go and get on this plane, and his car is sitting outside waiting. And it really was cool, though, because, again, like I'm really proud of, obviously the things I've been able to learn and the jewels I've been able to get from other people who have done this, and throughout their lives. And I've been able to learn so much from them. But I think, again, because of, my morals and my principles and the things that I care about versus, again, more importantly, what I don't really care about and what I don't care to push as media, I think that I'm able to get so much more out of these conversations and interviews, and it turns out to be something so much more that people can really appreciate.
Absolutely. And let me take it a step further. I want to just expand 2 seconds on what you said in regards to the people that tell you you can't do it. Let me throw a little jewel out there. And I was never, ever, ever told that I couldn't do it. And you know why? Because I made a conscious decision not to even accept that negative energy. I meditate on it. I don't use that language. And I know that my spirit guide and God puts a force field around me, so that's not even entertained. My mom and my family, they never told me what I couldn't do, never once in my life. So I never really had any barriers. If I wanted to be a bum, I could be a bum. If I wanted to be an astronaut, I could be an astronaut. If I wanted to sing, I could sing because nobody ever said I couldn't. And so I want people to start meditating on that. I don't use the word hater, struggle, grinding. That's not even in my vocabulary because words have power. So if you don't put it in your vocabulary, if you don't put it in close proximity to you, that energy will never, ever, ever touch you. And it's funny because people hear people say every day I'm hustling, get up and grind, and you look at their life and that's exactly what they're doing. They're grinding, they're hustling, and I'm like, wow, words have power. I don't want to grind. I want to smile every day.
And
I want things to be easy for me. I want to do whatever I want to do. So I would just encourage everybody that's listening, and you and myself, to be reminded that every single thing that you transmit, verbally or non-verbally, has power. And what are you really saying? What do you really want to do? Because it will manifest.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. And a lot of times, you know, we speak things into existence because of the words that we say. And like you said, words do have tremendous power.
Mhm. For sure. For sure. I did a show January 8th. It was one of the last shows in my second season. And I wasn't going to be able to do that show because, quite frankly, I ran out of money. And so I try to always stay connected with my audience. And a few of the members, they were calling me, you know, when is the next show? I don't see it on sale. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to be honest with you. It may not be on sale because I don't have the money to put it on. They said, well, what can we do to help you put this show on because we need this? I said, you can tell people. And so by the grace of God and humankind, they filled up my show probably 60%. And at the end of that show, I think the clip is on my Facebook page, we just had a real come to Jesus family room talk moment. And I thank everybody in the audience, you know, for coming. And I'm like, yo, it's just me on this stage. It's just me behind this. And my host knows my story of me saying nobody told me I couldn't because he started it. He brought it up. He was like, I'm so proud of her. You know, when I first came to her, I asked her, what makes you think you can do this? And he goes, and she responded, because nobody told me I couldn't. The power of your words manifests into action. And whatever you transmit, you get back.
I think that's so beautiful. So to me, a little bit, obviously, about how you do the casting. You know, obviously, you know, getting everybody together for the show. I mean, realistically, you have singers, dancers, you have aerialists, burlesque performers, of course, kind of the full gamut. So, like, how do you really bring the people together? Right.
I do nothing traditionally. So everybody you see on the stage are people that I stalk or that I'm fans of. I try to keep my show super authentic. No, I try. I do. I keep my show super authentic. So I don't know if you knew this, but there's a whole burlesque community out there in the world, and they're pretty freaking awesome. They have a Hall of Fame. It's tons of history that dates back to the teens and the 20s when Prohibition was running rampant, and this culture kind of died, but then it had a resurgence here lately. So those to me are like the strongest women in terms of being three-dimensional and having sexuality, but classicness put to it. So I reached into that community, and I just literally contacted the people that I were fans of, told them my story, and asked them to perform. And that's how I get my people. I don't do auditions. People send me messages, or I stalk them on the great internet and all the social media sites, and if I want them on my show, I'll just reach out to them. Now, as far as dancers is concerned, my sister is Jamaica Craft, and she's like, gosh, the biggest choreographer ever. She has like a catalog of like Usher, Sierra, Empire. She's working on 2 movies right now, and she's just like me, non-traditional as well. So, you know, she knows what I'm doing, and she supports me, and I bring her in sometimes. She's like a silent partner, so if I need dancers and I can't find them on my own, I'll ding her. We've developed 3 or 4 dancers in the show over the years just because you can be a dancer and you can be a performer, but I think what you get being with Clubesque is how to transmit that, and you really start to learn yourself and your body and your transformation as a woman. So what I've been told by my dancers is that they're better, they're stronger, they're more of a lady because of my show. So it's just, I don't know, it has a life of its own, but that's how I find my talent. Same as in the drag community, same in the live musician community. I mean, every thing that you see in the show, they're going to be people that are already active in that community, that have a following, and that just are awesome, at least in my eyes. So, but I would love to watch one of my shows because I think it's awesome. I'm fans of everybody that performs. Now, every once and again, I'll have an audition, but I've been blessed not to be able to have one yet.
But that's the cool thing, though, is that, obviously, like you said, the people that you're using, throughout the performances and throughout your show are people that you're big fans of. So I would think that it ultimately, advances your brand because you're bringing in, like, top-notch quality people, and that authenticity is definitely there, like you said, because these are people that you know and that you love already. So I think that makes it even better. And I guess, in a sense, I really kind of work that way, with the magazine as well. And obviously you want to be open-minded to, everybody. But on the same token, a lot of the people that, we reach out to, or a lot of the people that I specifically reach out to are people who I love in this industry, and I really like what they're doing, or I like something that they're saying or what they're speaking about. And those are the people that I really reach out to. And then some of the other people, they just kind of fall in line. And, I end up talking to them, and what do you know, I end up really liking what they do too. But I think this is really, really, I think what you have is really amazing. And I definitely would love to see the show. I don't go to Miami a whole lot, but I'm in Atlanta all the time. Actually, I was there a few weeks ago.
And we are in both places. However, I am kicking off the Miami series June 1st. So, I always try to strive and do bigger. And I like to look for markets that really don't have a real pathway to that type of entertainment. It's far and few in between. So, for instance, in Atlanta, they really don't do cabarets there. So for me to have Clubesque there was like, oh, my God, it's amazing. Miami is the club party EDM city. So when we did our first couple of test shows there, they were like, oh, my God, this is amazing. And I do a survey after every show. So I want to make sure that the magic is still there because I'm not trying to serve everybody. I'm just trying to serve a few. And I don't want to change my show to fit what I think would work. I want people to come and still experience the original goal and the original mission of Clubesque, right? So, hey, if you don't like it, it may not be for you or your city. But they did. They loved it. They loved it. So I'm like, yes. So now we're in 2 markets. Hopefully by the end of the year we'll be in like 5 or 6, maybe New Orleans, L.A. I don't want to do Vegas because you can see that everywhere. I don't want to do New York because you can see that everywhere. I want to bring it to the people that actually need it. I want to feed them, So I'm a Midwest girl, so probably back in the Midwest somewhere. I want to have a show or 2. I literally want to become the Cirque du Soleil of cabaret. So I want to have a residency in Atlanta and Miami because I live both places, and then have a traveling show with different themes. So that's the ultimate long-term goal. And 2, I don't know if you knew it, but I have family in Italy. I go over there a lot. I plan on retiring there. And they have a really, really big cabaret and burlesque community over there. So, hopefully, I wouldn't say 2017, but for 2018 for sure, I'm going to get it over there.
See, maybe that's your next place. And then I told you we were going to be really good friends. So maybe that's your next place. And then,
but you have to learn Italian. Parli italiano un poco. I will be your teacher.
I'm working on that because every fiber of me has been trying to take my wife to Venice. So I'm going to get there at some point. I guess I have to make it happen in 2018 so I can come and see the show there. But
absolutely.
Then I definitely
Venice is beautiful.
I will be making it a specific point of mine to see it in Atlanta because I'm there in Atlanta all the time. I'm actually working on getting establishing residency in Atlanta because I'm there so much for my magazine that I really just want to find somewhere to live there and kind of get back and
right? You're like, I
where
really
did you
need to live here.
But you spoke about the Midwest. Where were you from in the Midwest?
I was born in Missouri. I'm a KC girl. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Kansas City. Okay. So the reason I asked is because I'm in the Midwest as well, but I'm in Cleveland.
Exactly. I know. I remember that from the beginning of the interview. It's just something about people from the Midwest. I think that their whole bop is just completely different, and it's special.
Right.
And we are just the most down to earth but amazing people out there. You know, it is true.
I definitely agree with that. I'm so grateful, obviously for the opportunity today. Curiously, like, how does the show in Atlanta, does it go year round, or how does that go?
Right. So we go in seasons. Again, this is I'm not going to call it, for lack of a better word, I'll call it ADD. I think that if you follow something, you shouldn't have to see the same thing over and over again. So
right.
We change the show up completely every season. So we go for 9 months, and then we take 3 months off to change it. And in the show, when you come, it's so vibey that it may last 90 minutes. I'm not going to lie, it may last longer. It usually lasts longer because I've trained everyone to fill the audience. So just to give you an example, I'm in full showgirl get-up, and the audience is just jamming because my DJ also is an MC, so it feels like you're at Def Comedy Jam with Kid Capri. I mean, he's very interactive. So he's like, Sunny, I want to sing. And I'm like, sing what? Lauryn Hill, Fugees. And so we just start singing Lauryn Hill, Fugees, and the audience started participating, so that turned into a whole thing. So people come and they follow my show season after season. Here in Miami, I'm going to try to do it every Thursday, starting with the summer season, so June, July, August, in the hopes of that we gain this residency at one of the big swanky hotels down here, and then we would take off and do season 3 because we've been in existence for 2 seasons now. Season 3 would last from September through February, and then we would take off a couple of months and retool the show and then bring it back.
Okay, so is it still going on right now in Atlanta?
It's not. We are retooling everything. So it ceased in Atlanta. It'll probably start back up in Atlanta in September, only because I'm focusing on Miami right now. So I would say look out for season 3 to premiere in Atlanta in September, and then look out for season 3 to premiere in Miami June 1st at the Fillmore.
Well, geez, I think I'm going to be in Atlanta June 1st. So I was like, wow, wouldn't that be good if it was going on? So clearly I'm going to the wrong place.
Clearly, you just need to hop on a flight. It's about $189. Come hang out with me for the night. Come see the show. It's a beautiful environment. We'll go have some drinks afterwards, and then you can go home the next day to Atlanta. There you go. It's a date. Yes. I don't accept no for an answer.
Oh, no, I'm not telling you no by any means. I definitely I'm going to actually get my wife together, and we're going to actually plan to come down there to Miami. And I will make it a point to let you know when we're coming. Like, we definitely will come down there.
Very good. I'll make it an evening,
and
wonderful 24 hours for you.
Yeah, I mean, we love Miami. We do a lot of cruises, and usually when we go on a cruise, we usually port from Miami. So we do come there quite a bit. So I have to get my wife in the mood to get on a plane and fly somewhere. So I think we're going to make that something to do.
Absolutely. Well, my Miami is very different from a lot of people's Miami because, again, I don't go clubbing. So I'll show you around what the locals do, and you know, you'll have a wonderful time. But you'll be a visitor and a guest of Clubesque, and we'll take care of everything. So just come.
We are coming. We don't do the clubbing either, so we would love to see what the locals do. And experience a lot of that because we definitely don't do a lot of the clubbing either. But I think it'll be great, and I know for a fact that she would love to be able to see that type of a show. But we both, it's weird, like a lot of times when you meet people, a lot of times you end up not necessarily liking a lot of the same things, but like we love a lot of the same stuff, whether it's going to movies or seeing plays or seeing, just overall theater and shows like this. Like we would love to see something like this.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to hang out with you. I think it'll be awesome.
I think it'll be great. I think it will definitely be great. Kind of speak to where people can check everything out, and I know Twitter because I'm definitely a follower on Twitter. But tell us basically all of the social media, and then also the website. Well, actually, I'm on the website right now too, clubesque.com.
Yes, and all of our handles on each social media outlet is just that, Clubesque, CLUBESQUE. Now,
that's perfect branding.
Right. Clubesque everything. So just Facebook, Clubesque, Instagram, Clubesque, Twitter, Clubesque.
You see so many people, they have like all these underscores and stuff in their names, right. and none of them is really the same when you go across from one social media network to the next and whatnot. So that's why I'm like, perfect branding. Everything is the same.
Yes. Absolutely. Everything is the same. So Google Clubesque or just everything. It's CLUBESQUE, and you can find us. Now, to find me personally, Sunni Stephens, I do have a personal page, and that kind of feels different than Clubesque because I think that God has made my life a story for a reason, and I'm slowly starting to accept that and share it more. So if you want to learn about me personally, then you would go to Sunni Stephens. But those are the only two brands that I have out there.
I think it's perfect. Well, I'm following on Twitter right now to your personal page. I think it's great to put yourself out there, and I think a lot of times we fall into that space where we push our brand, but we don't necessarily push ourselves and the things that we are doing, I guess, as a whole. And it took me a while to get to that place where I was really pushing my personal page and everything too. But I definitely push it every chance I get now. So I love everything that it is that you're doing. I'm so grateful for having the opportunity to connect with you today because this is something, like I said, that I can definitely benefit from seeing. I think it's a great show, and I love to see a great show.
Absolutely. At minimum, it's a great show. On average, it's a wonderful experience.
Well, that's what I want, a wonderful experience.
Absolutely. Now, here's my disclaimer. Everyone automatically becomes interactive in the experience because my show is modular. So the only thing I ask is all of my audience goers and the newbies and everything is to come in. Don't come in with any reservations and just have an open mind. And I'm not saying open mind like, it's going to be all super weird because I love Jesus.
Right.
but when I say that, it's just really, it's going to feel like I've gone home to a family reunion and, we've eaten dinner and now we're all sitting around a table listening to music, having a great time. And whatever happens, happens. Now, maybe a couple of drag queens in there. You may see some audience members dressed up in full drag, but, hey, we're all inclusive.
But you know what?
We're all inclusive.
It's all in the experience, though, and everybody's having a good time together. So that's what's important. Everybody's having a good time together, and like you said, it's like a family reunion, and we've all eaten, and now we're sitting around the table having fun. And my wife and I are for that. Right, my wife and I are for it.
That's exactly what it is, my friend.
well, we're ready for it. So, last of all, what is the one thing that you would say to somebody that's looking to, I won't say do the same thing that you're doing, but they're really looking to experience living their true passion and doing what it is that they love to do?
What I would say is recognize your purpose in life. Most of us are given what we're supposed to do on here on earth when we're children, and then society, our families, and our friends, they kind of push that under the rug or lock it,
right.
and we lose it. And it's not really about what you like or what you love or what you're passionate about, because I'm passionate about a lot of things. I like a lot of things. But when you find out or when you recognize or reconnect with your purpose, then everything else aligns up. And it may be hard to accept your purpose in the beginning, but when you do and finally come to grasp with it, it'll make life that much easier. So I would say first, find your purpose. And then two, I would say God puts the talent in you, and then at some point you have to put the skills with the talent. Skills plus talent plus purpose creates opportunity and success and having a rich life. And that goes for both personal and work life.
I think that is so true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I so enjoyed this, and I definitely want to do it again, especially when, you know, the next new show launches. I know that you have a show obviously launching in Miami June 1st, but then when Atlanta comes back, you know, I definitely want us to bring you back on and for us to cover that. And then, you know, I'm going to get to Miami before Atlanta launches. So obviously I'm going to see something completely different when I go to Atlanta. So then that'll be something that I can come down there and actually cover that.
Yes. You can say, oh, my God, I come to this lady's show and it's never the same. But I always have a good time.
But that's good, though. And that's what we're looking for, is to have a good time.
Yeah.
So I thank you so much for the opportunity of talking today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
You as well. You have a good afternoon.
All right. You have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, we definitely will.
All right. Be blessed. Bye.
Bye-bye. And there you have it, Source Nation. We have wrapped up our third and our final hour. This was UGD Live, and we were here with the amazing and fabulous Sunni Stephens of Clubesque. Definitely you can check her and you can check Clubesque out, the social media basically for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all over the internet. It is Clubesque. That is CLUBESQUE. You can also find her directly or personally on her social media at Sunni, that's SUNNI, Stephens, STEPHENS, and of course, www.clubesque.com. I'm so grateful to everybody for tuning in today. Definitely tune in again next Saturday. We will be here, same time, same place, right here at Source Radio Network, and this has been Indie Soul Saturdays and UGD Live.
Get at me for beats, y'all.